गौरान्विताय जय गौरान्विताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 2, Daksa curses Lord Shiva, Text 9. Let me share the screen. I'm sharing. श्रूयतां ब्रह्मर्षयो श्रूयतां ब्रह्मर्षयो मे सह-देवा सहाग्नयः साधूनां ब्रुवतो वृत्तं नājñānān न च matsarāt nājñānān न च matsarāt श्रूयतां ब्रह्मर्षयो मे सह-देवा सहाग्नयः साधूनां ब्रुवतो वृत्तं नājñānān न च matsarāt श्रूयतां ब्रह्मर्षयो मे सह-देवा सहाग्नयः साधूनां ब्रुवतो वृत्तं नājñānān न च matsarāt श्रूयतां ब्रह्मर्षयो मे saha-devāḥ sahāgnayaḥ sādhūnāṁ bruvato vṛttaṁ nājñānān matsarāt śrūyatāṁ brahmarṣayo saha-devāḥ sahāgnayaḥ sādhūnāṁ bruvato vṛttaṁ nājñānān matsarāt śrūyatāṁ. Here, brahmarṣayo, O sages among the brahmanas, may unto me, saha-devāḥ, O demigods, sahāgnayaḥ, O fire gods, sādhūnāṁ, of the gentle, bruvato, speaking, vṛttaṁ, the manners, not, ajnānāt, from ignorance, nacha, and not, matsarāt, from envy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All sages, brahmanas, and fire gods present, please hear me with attention. For I speak about the manners of gentle persons. I do not speak out of ignorance or envy. Purport. In speaking against Lord Shiva, Dakṣa tried to pacify the assembly by presenting in a very tactful way that he was going to speak about the manners of gentle persons, although naturally this might affect some unmannerly upstarts, and the assembly might be unhappy because they did not want even unmannerly persons to be offended. I'll read that again. In speaking against Lord Shiva, Dakṣa tried to pacify the assembly by presenting in a very tactful way that he was going to speak about the manners of gentle persons, although naturally this might affect some unmannerly upstarts, and the assembly might be unhappy because they did not want even unmannerly persons to be offended. In other words, he was in complete knowledge that he was speaking against Lord Shiva in spite of Shiva's spotless character. As far as envy is concerned, from the very beginning he was envious of Lord Shiva. Therefore, he could not distinguish his own particular envy.
He envies what from Shivji.
Because he's so great. And see, Dakṣa is attached to material opulences, to opposite sex, so on and so forth. And Lord Shiva is completely renounced. So renunciation is an opulence. So,
I guess even the complete opposite of what Daksa likes.
yeah, no, the thing is, yeah.
Like, how can you despise a person because of what he has, but it's gonna be envious of him?
Well, the thing, you see, when you're envious of someone, you try to show that person as, you know, as not so great, he's very lowly. So your despising him can also be a sign of your envy towards him. Because you see, having naturally, this is material, spiritual, and devotional. This is the hierarchy. So just like dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. When you do dharma, you get artha, means wealth. So somebody who's doing very well in his work, others may envy him. Because by doing that work, he'll get promotion, he'll get wealth, so on and so forth. And by that, he will enjoy. So he'll be more happy than me. So you may be envious of that. But higher than dharma, artha, kama is moksha. That means somebody who has renounced material goals, like material position, material wealth, material happiness. He's foregoing those things to make spiritual progress. That means he's getting something higher. So materialistic people who are competitive can feel envious of that person, and they show their envy in trying to demean them by showing that ye to bekar hai, They cannot do well materially. They are good for nothing in this world. They cannot achieve anything in this world. That is why they are, because they are good for nothing, they cannot achieve big things in this world. They cannot have a family and maintain a family. Look at us. We are maintaining so many people and we are earning so much and we are feeding others. These are all bums. Karke, jo renunciates hai, who have renounced everything for the sake of spiritual progress, they are criticizing them. But what is it really? Their criticism is actually, we can understand, it's simply envy. Because what they have is much higher than what I have. People may have material assets. It doesn't mean that they're happy. They're chasing after happiness, no doubt, but they're not actually happy. But somebody who has renounced all the things of this world, who has renounced material happiness, he's actually peaceful and happy. So someone who is thinking that he will become happy by acquiring all these things and still is not happy, sees someone who has renounced all these things and is happy, obviously he will feel envious. How is this person so peaceful? So he will express his envy in the form of putting down that person, minimizing that person, insulting that person. Make sense? Okay. So as far as envy is concerned, from the very beginning he was envious of Lord Shiva. Therefore, he could not distinguish his own particular envy. So he was envious of Lord Shiva from the beginning, and now his getting angry on Lord Shiva is a sign of his own envy that he is not able to distinguish, because he is already envious of Lord Shiva from the beginning. Why he is envious, I told you just now, because he's far more exalted spiritually. And even though materially he looks like, he doesn't have anything, it's a known fact that he's very peaceful. Just look at the qualities of Lord Shiva. He doesn't treat anyone as his enemy. Do you find any materialists like that? No, there's always competition. You're always externally, you may be smiling, but always you're thinking about that person may take away what I have and I have to protect mine, so on and so forth. So he is envious of Lord Shiva from the beginning, and now because Lord Shiva didn't stand up for him, he got angry. That is his envy. But he is not able to distinguish his own envy, that I am acting like this out of my envy. He's not able to see that. Rather, he's saying this is Shiva's fault. And he is telling everyone else. But Srila Prabhupada is also saying he was in complete knowledge that he was speaking against Lord Shiva in spite of Shiva's spotless character. So he was aware that he is speaking against Lord Shiva in spite of Lord Shiva's spotless character. So he's aware that Lord Shiva his character is spotless. But still he is speaking out of his envy. But फिर बोल रहे हैं, as far as envy is concerned, from the very beginning he was envious of Lord Shiva. Therefore he could not distinguish his own particular envy. That's the nature of envy. When you're envious of someone, can you see that I am envious of this person? Does it ever happen? You'll feel that envy, but out of envy, you'll simply see all faults in that person. You won't think that actually this person is so good, but I am feeling envious of him. ऐसा नहीं सोचते हैं. Those are actually envious. Right? You may want what that person has, but you don't think that this person is so great and I'm acting like this out of my envy towards him. Because the moment you feel like that, you won't be feeling envious anymore, because you'll see yourself as being at fault. Isn't it? Yeah. So
I've gone through that before.
what?
I feel any of the idea that I'm just being over, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So then after that, do you still feel envious of that person?
I still feel that I try to suppress it.
Yeah. Nice. That's nice. Then you wouldn't be speaking like this, like Dakṣa did in an assembly, like completely, what do you call, trolling that person? What do you call this? Whatever Dakṣa is doing to Lord Shiva.
Letting it all out.
Huh?
Letting all of it envy out.
Yeah, he's trying to really show him as a, bad person. Not just letting out, it's not just venting, it's about defaming the other person. Unka, kya boli? Defamation, yeah. You have some words, right? Current.
Yeah, defamation is an actual
No. I'm talking about,
Oh,
you really, actually that person doesn't deserve, but falsely you try to picture that person as a bad person, framing that person. Yeah. So although he spoke like a man in ignorance, he wanted to cover his statements by saying that he was not speaking for impudent and envious reasons. So he's actually speaking out of envy, but he's saying, don't think that I'm speaking out of envy here. He's saying, I'm just telling you the manners of gentle people, how gentle people behave. So yeah, although he spoke like a man in ignorance, he wanted to cover his statements by saying that he was not speaking for impudent and envious reasons. He's not speaking out of, disrespect or envy. Blatant thing. Yeah, exactly. Saying the most insulting words, calling people all kinds of things and saying, no offense, Prabhu. Like that, something like that. But even worse, if you were directly telling him on his face, you, in second person, that would have been something. Lord Shiva is sitting right there and he's telling all the people there what kind of a person he is. Like, it's even more insulting. So now I will try to see what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying. So the flow is like this. Dakṣa, with his effulgence like the sun, entered the assembly where everyone was already seated. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the fire gods, all the demigods were seated, and he walks in. And because of his effulgence, the darkness in the assembly was mitigated. And seeing that, influenced by his effulgence, all the demigods, including the fire gods, except for Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, stand up and they greet him, offer their respects to him. And Dakṣa accepts their respects, and then he offers respects to Lord Brahma because Lord Brahma is his father, and also he is the secondary creator of this universe. He bows down to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma gives him permission to take his seat. And just before taking his seat, he notes that Lord Shiva didn't stand up, and he became very angry, visibly angry, that his eyes narrowed, and he looked at Lord Shiva as if he was going to burn him with his glance. And then he began to speak. So what did he say? That's what we are seeing today. So he said, śrūyatāṁ brahmarṣayo me saha-devāḥ sahāgnayaḥ. Saha-devā, it's like my colleagues, Jessa. So my co-devatas, my co-fire gods, right? And all the assembled brahmarshis. Śrūyatāṁ, please hear what I have to say. So he started his speech already. So apparently he didn't, or maybe while seated he's talking, or maybe he's still standing and talking. śrūyatāṁ brahmarṣayo me saha-devāḥ sahāgnayaḥ. Oh, all demigods, my co-demigods, my co-fire gods, and all the assembled brahmarishis. Sādhūnāṁ bruvato vṛttaṁ. So I'm going to speak about the actions of sadhus. What are the actions of sadhus? Sādhūnāṁ bruvato vṛttaṁ nājñānān cha matsarāt. Na agyānān. I am not speaking out of ignorance. Na cha matsarāt. Neither out of envy. I am not going to speak out of ignorance nor out of envy. I am only going to tell you about the behavior of sadhus. Yeah. Exactly.
I feel like if Shivji stood up, he should find somewhere to get mad at him.
Shivji should have gotten up.
Even if he got up, Daksa would still find somewhere to get mad.
Yeah, even if, yes, because Lord Shiva is already envious. Even if, Lord Daksa is envious of Lord Shiva already. Even if Lord Shiva got up and offered obeisances, still Daksa would find some fault with Lord Shiva, Madhava was saying. So, hey brahmarṣayo, hey devtaओं, हे अग्नियों, मैं अज्ञान अथवा मात्सर्य के वशीभूत होकर कोई बात नहीं कहूंगा. केवल साधुओं के आचरण की बात बतलाने के लिए ही जो कुछ कहूंगा, आप उसे कृपा पूर्वक श्रवण कीजिए. Okay, so whatever I'm speaking just to tell you about the behavior of sadhus. So please pay attention to what I'm saying and don't think that I'm speaking out of envy here. So Daksha was not at all happy. What is Daksha's concern? His concern is, this Shiva is my son-in-law. Why didn't he get up for me? I am the father-in-law.
But you know, when you don't have that from
Yeah,
his advantage, the entire world.
exactly. But the fact is, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they are gunavatars. They are the principal demigods. So Daksha, Lord Shiva did not require to stand up for Daksha. Actually, that's not the reason why Lord Shiva didn't stand up. It's not because that we will see in future.
It's like that's his name who Parshurans was made on.
Samikrishi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like for the
Yeah.
no, like being
In trance, in samadhi, not knowing. Exactly. That was the same situation of Lord Shiva. He was in samadhi. So that's why he didn't. Otherwise, he didn't mind. It's not that willingly he didn't get up. But this is what Daksha is thinking. But the fact is, Lord Shiva didn't require to stand. Even if he was not in samadhi, and if he deliberately didn't stand up, there was no fault on Lord Shiva's part, because he's far superior. Yeah, he's far superior than Daksha. But Daksha could not tolerate this. He took this as an insult by his son-in-law. Son-in-law insulting him in the assembly of all these dignitaries.
Not his son-in-law, the Lord Siva.
Yes. But the fact is, Lord Shiva had no feeling that he was the principal demigod.
He says
So the pass out, so everyone will feel part of the
he gets
conversation.
insulted that Lord Shiva, his son-in-law, didn't go and respect him. So he got insulted and he starts yelling at him. Meanwhile, he's literally Lord Shiva, and this person is just insulting him left and right now. Does he not have any self-respect? He
Right.
has self-respect, but should he not have any respect
Exactly.
in front of all of these people?
Yes. So the point is the way. Oh, he said come in 5 minutes. I didn't go. You'll go?
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Sorry, asked you. Tadi asked you. He said, I said 5 minutes. Why you didn't come? Come very quickly. हो गया उनका. So, so here the scene is that Lord Shiva didn't have any feeling that he's the principal demigod. He just happened to be in samadhi meditating on the Supreme Lord. And the same thing he tells Sati later on, that I was in samadhi. I didn't know when your father came. I was not aware that he entered the assembly. Samadhi means not being conscious of the external world. So I was not aware that your father had come in. So we will see this in the next coming chapters. They have a dialogue between Sati and Lord Shiva. And Sati, you can imagine, 8-year-old or 9-year-old girl. You know, she's saying, why didn't you just stand up and greet my father? So Lord Shiva said, I was in samadhi. So she said, then why didn't you control your samadhi? Why don't you control that samadhi? Then Lord Shiva said, samadhi is not in my control. I don't know when I go into samadhi. Also, when one is respecting the Lord, the Supreme Lord in samadhi, automatically all other living entities are respected. When you're respecting the Supreme Lord, yes, everyone else is, if somebody is taking offense in that you didn't separately respect me, it's really not justified. If the person is already absorbed in the service of the Supreme Lord, and because of that he has not respected someone, then, you know, it is justified. Automatically, no A respectable person will take offense of a person who is absorbed in samadhi on the Supreme Lord. Should not, yes. Huh? Romaharshana.
He wasn't in samadhi.
He was not in samadhi, he was giving a class. We are talking about specifically about samadhi when you're not, and that's why Parikshit Maharaj regretted. It's a very good the comparison that he brought up. You brought up, he brought up. That Samik Rishi was also in samadhi and Parikshit Maharaj got angry. But Parikshit Maharaj was not aware that he's in samadhi. He was thinking that he's pretending that he's in samadhi so that he doesn't have to, receive a low-class kshatriya, basically. This he thinks later on. Or maybe at that time only he thinks. Or after he's going back, he's thinking. But you see, Parikshit Maharaj's situation was completely different. No, he's a king, but he's the king, of course. Yes, but here he's also the chief of the assembly, apparently. Not bigger than Shivji, certainly not. But Parikshit Maharaj was hungry. He was thirsty after a full day's hunting. He was exhausted. Your mind doesn't work when you're tired and hungry like that. And on top of that, he was the emperor of the whole earth planet. So it is actually justified. If it were not justified, then Samik Rishi would have certainly taken offense. He didn't take any offense. He felt very sorry when he found out that his son cursed Parikshit Maharaj. What will happen now? Who will protect the brahmanas? He was concerned. So he did. Of course. Yes. So in Balramji's case, Balramji, taking offense from Romaharshana, actually, Balramji, he is the Supreme Lord and he is the Supreme Lord in the role of a spiritual master who takes responsibility of the parampara, that nobody misbehaves. So when it comes to the Supreme Lord, you must honor the Supreme Lord. Balaramji was there and it's not like he was in samadhi. He
actually genuinely didn't get up.
Yeah. Because he's seated on Vyasasana, he thought, I don't need to bow down. But it's the Supreme Lord who's come. So he should have. So, yes.
Because like usually when you're spiritual, not spiritual, the giving class are supposed to
get up. Yes. When anyone's superior, just like you see, Uddhav, he could have instructed Vidura. He did not. Because there's somebody superior to me here. When a superior person is present, it doesn't look good. An inferior person is speaking. It's a different thing when the superior person orders you. Then to carry out their order, you may sit and speak. But otherwise, not that now I'm on the Vyasasana, so I have the bigger position. I don't have to bow down before anyone. That attitude is not correct. So Lord Shiva is saying to Sati that when I go into samadhi, it's not in my control. I don't know when I go into samadhi. Besides that, when one is respecting the Supreme Lord in samadhi, all living entities are respected automatically because all living entities are present in the Supreme Lord. So when I am in samadhi, your father is also there in the Lord and I am respecting the Lord means your father is also being respected. All living entities are being respected. So I'm respecting him automatically. Why your father is feeling offended and making a big issue out of it? So that was the talk between Lord Shiva and Sati. So there was some discussion here, question answers in one class. I'll just read that. So in the question answers, it is said that Daksa is a karmi. He's not a pure devotee. He's a karmi. Daksa doesn't have proper understanding of the Lord and his devotees. That's why he didn't respect Shiva and he took offense. If you simply respected Lord Shiva either as a Guna avatar or as a Vaishnava, just if you respected him as the best of all Vaishnavas, you would not take offense that he didn't stand up for me. Right? So Daksa is not a pure devotee, he's a karmi. Karmi means you worship the Lord to get some material result, basically, even if you worship. That's also a karmi. In karmi, you have three categories, I think I told before. Karmi means who does karma to get material result. And in order to get the material result, he can worship the demigods, or he can even worship Lord Vishnu. But his interest is only to get the result, that's all. Not that he's the Supreme Lord, Jivera Swarupohai Krishnera Nityadas. So this is our duty to always serve him. That mood will not be there. That when one gets that mood, that is called yoga. This is not yoga. When you're worshipping the Supreme Lord to get some material result, and that's it. It's like a business deal. That person is called a karmi. So about Dakṣa, it is said Dakṣa is a karmi. Dakṣa doesn't have proper understanding of the Supreme Lord and his devotees. That's why he didn't respect Śiva and took offense. Otherwise, he would have respected Lord Śiva because he is the best of the devotees of the Lord. This shows that he does not have proper understanding of the Supreme Lord. He sees Vishnu as one of the demigods, the main demigod to whom all the yagya ahuti oblations are offered in a yagya. So, why Lord Vishnu must be offered? So that I can get my yagya phala. By doing this yagya, whatever fruit I want, so that I'll get that. That's why he worships Lord Vishnu and performs yagya and offers all oblations there, so that he will get his desired result in the end. To get results of my yagya, I must offer to Vishnu. Not that Vishnu deserves it, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we are his servants. He is offering to Lord Vishnu because he is interested in his results that he wants. This is called a karmi. He is only interested in getting the results of his karma. He doesn't have the concept that Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and my eternal position is serving him. What is devotion? Devotion means I am insignificant and the Lord is the Supreme. I am an insignificant servant of the Supreme Lord. My eternal position is to serve him. Dakṣa didn't have this understanding about the Supreme Lord because, of course, this is the first time. Second time, Dakṣa meditates on the Supreme Lord and all. He gets darshan of the Lord, but still he commits offense again to Narad Muni. That means same person still. Yes. So his concept is that I'm doing these big yagyas and Vishnu gives the result. I do yagya and I get the result for what I do. I deserve it. That's all. So this understanding that I'm the servant, when will it come? When will one get this understanding that I'm a servant of the Supreme Lord? I'm supposed to serve the Supreme Lord all the time. When will you get this understanding? Exactly. Bullseye. When you get the mercy of a pure devotee, that's when you get this understanding. Otherwise, you cannot. Simply by all his sons. Yeah, future. Yes. Hari Ashwas, Saval Ashwas. They all got the mercy of Narad Muni and Lord Shiva, but he didn't. So through Varnashrama Dharma, what happens in Varnashrama Dharma is they follow their particular Dharma very nicely and they worship Lord Vishnu and offer the results of their karma to Lord Vishnu nicely. By this, they can only get Salokya Mukti. But this is not karmi, by the way. Varnashrama Dharma followers, they are not karmis. In Varnashrama Dharma, Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Lord. That understanding is there. He is the center of the society. Even if they're doing some demigod worship, they will know that demigods are parts and parcels of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is the Supreme. This understanding will be there. Not that Lord Vishnu is used as a demigod to get my results. Not like that. So in a regular Varnashrama, you will see that all offerings are offered to Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is worshipped. And everyone does their karma nicely. And they offer the results to Lord Vishnu. What do they get by this at the end of this life? They get mukti. They go to Vaikuntha. Not that they'll get service. They won't get service. But they'll get liberation. Salokya mukti. They go to the same planet as Lord Vishnu. By doing Varnashrama Dharma nicely with the understanding that Lord Vishnu is the Supreme. But you don't have a desire to serve him eternally. You are interested in eternal life, opulence, no more birth, death, no more suffering. Then you'll get that. Even if you worshipped a particular demigod, you go to the planet of that demigod. That does not mean that you are an eternal servant of that demigod. You want to be eternally a servant of Indra. No. If you do yagyas for Indra, you can go to the planet of Indra, heavenly planet. Similarly, those who worship Lord Vishnu, they can go to the planet of Lord Vishnu. That doesn't mean they get devotional service. But that is still higher than a karmi's position. That's karma yoga. With the understanding that Lord Vishnu is the supreme, if you're worshipping, then that is yoga. But when you worship Lord Vishnu like a demigod, like you go to the store, you pay money and you get. So you do yagya for Lord Vishnu and you want this result. And I'm giving you this yagya, these offerings. In return, I get my result. That's a karmi. He won't go to the planet of Lord Vishnu. Okay. So it is said that 99% of the people in the society, they are karmis only. I mean, not even karmis in today's world. They don't follow karma according to Shastra. Even those who apparently are following, like traditional people in this country, Bharat Khanda, here, you see those, they have their particular festivals and their rituals and traditions that they are following. 99% of the people's understanding is this only. Even if they worship, first of all, you won't see them worshipping Lord Vishnu. Most of the time, you will see them worshipping demigods. Even if they do worship Lord Vishnu, he will be there along with other demigods, if you remember. On the altar, you will see Lord Shiva, Durga Devi, Lord Vishnu. Everybody's there on the same platform. So this is majority of the people. Only it is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who revealed to us, that we are insignificant servants of the Supreme Lord and our eternal position is to serve the Supreme Lord. This Bhakti Rasa is the eternal topmost enjoyment for the living entity, to be situated as a servant of the Supreme Lord in a particular relationship with Him. So we get this by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he even gave the topmost in that. You should serve the Supreme Lord following in the footsteps of the gopis. This was taught by Mahaprabhu exclusively. Nobody else taught this in this particular time. So we are very fortunate to be in this disciplic succession. We cannot even imagine how fortunate we are to get this message directly from him, coming down to us in the disciplic succession. He accepts initiation in this disciplic succession, the Supreme Lord himself, to give us that message. But because we get it so easily, we tend to not understand the gravity, the value of what we got. And those who are understanding it, that is only because of the mercy. Whoever is understanding the importance of what we got, it is because of the mercy of the devotees. In general, otherwise people's understanding is going back home, back to Godhead. You don't have to take birth again in this world. I'm going back, no more suffering. Like that. So I think we'll stop there today. Lord Shiva didn't have the feeling that he's the principal demigod. So, and that's why he's not standing up for Daksa. That was not at all his thing. It is said that we should understand his helplessness because he was in Samadhi, meditating on the Supreme Lord. So he was not aware of Daksha's arrival.
So did he not know anything that was going on? Like the entire time he was just in his own area. Did he he didn't even know that what was going on around him outside?
Exactly. That's the thing. He was in Samadhi means he was not even aware of what was happening outside.
That's how he met him and everything, and he was just not even hearing.
Oh, by that time, I think he came out of. Oh. Now Daksha starts saying. So let me read what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying about this particular verse. So after sitting on his seat, Daksha is now saying to everyone, he is targeting Lord Shiva, saying to everyone what real manners are of gentle people. Daksha's intention is, quote,
he probably never listened to evil stand up like this.
Yeah. How should a well-mannered person behave? Now I'm going to explain to all of you how a well-mannered person should behave. So all the fire gods, Indra and other sages and demigods were sitting in front of Daksa, and he's speaking to all of them. He says, I don't want to offend any sadhu. But I'm not offending a sadhu here. That's his point. I don't want to offend any sadhu. I'm just going to explain what should be the behavior of a sadhu. I don't have any envy toward anyone. I'm not speaking out of enviousness. And also, you people should not feel bad. Don't feel bad. I am just going to speak what is the good behavior of a sadhu. How a sadhu behaves.
There's the area, like 5 minute disclaimers to everybody.
Yeah, he's giving disclaimers. That's the whole point you should take from this verse. He's just giving disclaimers. You'll see what he'll say. Yeah, and then he'll just let out all the whatever he's holding. Yeah, he's saying sadhus hate asadhus. So he's calling himself a sadhu and Lord Shiva is asadhu. So sadhus hate asadhus. Actually, yeah, I don't think it's recorded what you said, but I'll just repeat. So Isha is saying, but this is not true what Daksa is saying, that sadhus hate asadhus. Actual sadhus don't hate anyone. They don't hate anyone. And what else did you say? Exactly. So Lord Shiva, who is a real sadhu, he didn't hate Daksha. We will see that. Lord Shiva is the real sadhu, so he didn't hate Daksha, who is the actual asadhu. So Daksha, but let's see what Daksha is saying. Daksha is saying sadhus hate asadhus. They despise asadhus. So Daksha is thinking Shiva is asadhu and I am sadhu. You all are also sadhus, and I'm speaking to all of you. Huh? Why all of you are sadhus? Because you all stood up when I came. But, and of course, I'm a sadhu, you all are sadhus. But we should know there is one asadhu in this assembly. That's why sadhus feel. Yeah. So this is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explaining Daksha what he's saying, okay? So that's why sadhus should feel dvesha. Not that sadhus feel, they should feel hatred, dvesha towards asadhus. You all are sadhus, I am sadhu. You stood up for me, so you're all sadhus, and I'm also sadhu, but there's one person in this assembly who's asadhu, and sadhus should feel hatred for asadhus. If they don't feel hatred for asadhus, look at his explanation, that is not good. Sadhus not feeling dvesha or hatred toward. So comments here are, which Bhagavatam did Daksha read that is saying that sadhu should hate asadhu?
Must hate asadhu.
Huh?
Not should, they must hate asadhu.
What's the difference between should and must?
Like you should, and not like you have to.
Should is have to, right? I don't know.
Not really.
Oh, like
Yeah.
that. Acha, okay. Oh, must is more powerful then. It's like ordering.
Yeah.
Acha. So he's saying, yes, he's saying you must. Daksha is saying you must feel hatred. Sadhus must feel hatred for asadhus. If they don't feel hatred for asadhus, that is bad, he's saying. Why? That means if we don't feel hatred for asadhu, we also become asadhu.
He just created whatever.
If we don't feel dvesha for asadhu, we all also become asadhus. Therefore, to distinguish ourselves from asadhu, we should hate asadhu.
It's basically like that yogi you were talking about the other day, like they have to look up their own philosophy.
Right, munis. We were talking about munis the other day. If you are not different from other muni, if you cannot come up with a philosophy which is different from others, then you're not technically not a muni anymore. Muni, it's exactly like our PhDs today.
Exactly. That's all they're like come up with idea.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to come up with your unique philosophy. And then you get the doctorate of philosophy, like you get your PhD, doctor so-and-so. So like that, we have to separate ourselves from asadhus by hating asadhus, Dakṣa is saying. So I'm feeling hatred for Shiva. So bottom line is, I'm feeling hatred for Lord Shiva, and all of you also should feel hatred for him. That's his point. Basically, come on my side now. Huh? Being a sadhu, if you don't hate a sadhu, then it is an offense.
Video.
Who's it an offense to?
Dakṣa is saying, being a sadhu, if you don't hate a sadhu, then it is an offense to the sadhu. So
Which side?
Which sadhu?
Dakṣa. Dakṣa is a sadhu and is hating asadhu Shiva. And all of you demigods sitting here, if you also don't hate Shiva, then you're offending me, the
The
sadhu.
sadhu leader.
So being a sadhu, if you don't hate a sadhu, then it is an offense. So in order to avoid offense to sadhu, me, Dakṣa, you all should hate him, the asadhu, Shiva. So now someone may ask Dakṣa, hey Dakṣa, you are considering Shiva to be asadhu because of your own pride and envy. Actually, he is not asadhu, but you are thinking he is asadhu because of your pride and because of your enviousness. Then Dakṣa is saying, no, no, no. I am not ignorant. That's why he said in the beginning, right? I'm not going to speak out of ignorance. So that's why you should take one line at a time. So we will go over that verse one more time. But he's saying that Dakṣa is saying, no, no, no. Right? I'm not ignorant. I'm not saying this out of ignorance. And also, I have no envy for Shiva. What does Shiva have anyway for me to be envious of him?
Because I mean, what example making?
What kind of enviousness can I maintain for him, towards him? The fact is that he does not have any good behavior. Now that is envy. Well, if you said he didn't have any material objects, he has no house, but you're saying he doesn't, this itself should tell us that he is envious. He's saying he doesn't have any good behavior. Why? I mean, why would I be envious of him? Yeah.
Like Dakṣa would really stand the fact that he wouldn't
Stand up for
You
him.
just look at him and forget this entire rant.
Yeah. So the fact is that he does not have any good behavior at all. Therefore, all sadhus should hate him.
Sadhus would hate the most bogus answer.
So Srila Prabhupada is saying, actually Dakṣa was really envious of Shiva. And therefore he could not distinguish his own envy. He couldn't distinguish his envy. One who has envy cannot say that he has envy. And he cannot notice a person who has no envy. When you are envious, you cannot spot a person that is non-envious. You cannot tell that, just like Shiva is non-envious, we already saw Nirvairam. He has no envy for anyone. But Dakṣa is full of envy. He cannot notice somebody is without envy. He just cannot see it. Atmavat manyate. Exactly. Atmavat manyate jagat. Because he is envious, he sees everyone as envious. Even a non-envious person he sees as envious. That's the thing. Yeah. So one who has envy cannot see that. First of all, he cannot see his envy. When he is envious, he cannot see his enviousness. And he cannot see the person who is non-envious. That he is non-envious, he cannot see that. Since Lord Shiva has no envy, Dakṣa is not able to recognize this because of his own enviousness. He is not able to recognize Lord Shiva's non-enviousness. Dakṣa was proud of his wealth, of his opulence, and that because he was performing these big sacrifices, giving lots of wealth in charity, feeding so many devatas, and had a great following. He was proud of all this. He was a big man, a rich man, a king. Whereas Shiva was a poor person, simple person, and a Vaishnava living in the crematorium without even a proper house. So if he doesn't even have a house, then what to speak of any other material opulences? He didn't have any of that. So Daksa is proud of himself. From material standard, he had so many things, so much following. He's a big man. And Lord Shiva doesn't even have a house, like a homeless person, basically. He's living in the crematorium. That's why he had no respect for Lord Shiva. And such a person for whom he had no respect, and on top of that, he was an envious person, so he couldn't see the good qualities of Lord Shiva, and he didn't have any respect for him. And that person is now disrespecting him, insulting him. He couldn't take it. So we can stop there today. Text 9. ग्रंथ राज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां